Aloha Authentic.
Hui, aloha mai kako, and welcome to another episode of Aloha Authentic with Kamakapili, Hawaii's only TV show that really brings on our local artisans and culture practitioners to share the mana'o, the meanings, the kauna, and the messages of their work out with the community and with the world, so we can perpetuate our culture and get those authentic messages out to you. Today we have a very special guest, someone that I really wanted to listen to his mana'o, his messages, because he does incredible work. Brook Parker. Thank you very much, Brook, for coming on the show.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Before we get into it and before I forget, I just wanted to explain, because we might be poo-pooing a little bit around for today's show, but we get some poke and we get some poi. And the whole mana'o behind this, for me, growing up, my tutushi would always share that when the bowl of poi is open, you know, only good mana, only positive talk, good stories are shared, because if any negative mana, negative stories come out, then all that energy gets sucked into the poi, gets sucked into the poke, and it sours, so then it's no good to eat anymore. So this is kind of just an example and a symbolism that today we're going to be sharing some really good positive mana and energy. So dive in, because it's going to be good. So let's just get right into it. Brook, first of all, again, thank you very much. Everybody kind of is, when they see your work, they kind of are, you have your own style, you kind of stand out. But for those who don't really are familiar with you, share a little bit of what you do.
Well, growing up, in fact, I grew up right across the street, really earlier in Kahalu, but in 69, my dad and mom bought right across the street from where we're having this studio today, and I was a big fan of Hawaiian history. My dad drove a truck for HC&D, but he had a lot of hobbies, and one of those was Hawaiian history, and he was well read. So he had a fairly large library, and as long as I put the books back, I would be okay, you know, Hawaiian style. And watch my father, on the weekend he had hobbies. He used to paint and draw and do different things. He used to make plastic models, all kind of different interests, and kind of rubbed off on me, but I gravitated toward the Hawaiian history and his library, and I was an early fan of Samuel Kamakau's Ruling Chiefs. So kind of like the Hawaiian history book, Bible of Hawaiian history books, and fascinated with the stories in there. Really perked my interest. And all during school, when I had the opportunity, I went to Hei'a Elementary, attended here King Intermediate, and then I went to Castle. But all my elective classes were all art classes, because I really love to draw, and even at that age, do the Hawaiian stuff. And never thought I'd be doing this full time, but very appreciative and thankful for that influence that my father had on me, and also some of his art friends. Because in the early 1970s, it was our Hawaiian Renaissance. You had the Hokulea. You had Rocky Jensen started Halinawa with all the Hawaiian artists and the music and all of that. Stopped the bombing at Ko'olawi. I was in the middle school at that time, and my dad became a member of Halinawa 3, and Herb Conning was one of those artists in there. Joe Momoa, Jason's dad, of course Rocky Jensen, and on and on and on. Ipuni Hipali, Joe Dawson, all these Hawaiian artists. And if you asked me in the 60s who my favorite Hawaiian artist was, I couldn't tell you, bro, only my dad, yeah. But after that, 1970, then I got to see different types of work. And they had their first show at the AMFAC, and I remember going down and seeing all this art, and just very touched me deeply. And you know, honored and privileged, kind of walking, riding on their shoulders, so to speak, because a lot of those guys, especially Uncle Herb Connie, nobody can ever fill his shoes. It's just incredible.
One of a kind.
Stuff. Oh yeah, and his eye for research and detail, which is important, especially the art I choose to do, the Hawaiian historical stuff. Yeah. It's not what I think it might have been. It's what, as best as we can, what it was, and then whatever help and inspiration I get other than that.
So your work goes hand in hand with art and history. It's
a lot of it does. It kind of gravitates toward that, and I'm finding out that a lot of paintings that I choose to do deals with the underdog, you know, guys that maybe we don't hear their side of the story, because of course, as you know, history is written from the point of the victors. The loser's not around to tell their side of the story, but they had a story to tell too, and I noticed some of my paintings come out like that. And that's all good. I mean, I enjoy telling all the stories from all angles, and try to concentrate on those stories that maybe we are not too familiar with. So
you've been painting ever since you were a little kid, or you just been around art and painting is something new to you?
Yeah, painting is something new to me as of 2009. In fact, that over your right shoulder, there's a painting on the table there. There's the painting there of Kame'eamok and Kamanawa, two twin brothers that were uncles and counselors to Kamehameha the Great. I decided to do them. There's family connections there, but I don't know why I never did paint before. My dad painted, I drew. I used to buy a lot of Conan comics as a kid. They were my other teachers, how to do anatomy. So you see my paintings on my men, I'm very ma'a to it because I used to buy a lot of comics and so just copy. But as far as painting, when we first, me and my wife Drina, Drina Kalani from Papakolea via Phoenix, Arizona, we just made 25 years our silver anniversary. They had 5 children. And when we first got married, I decided to take a painting class at UH Manoa because we lived at Pucks Alley, right? And I was working at the Sinclair paint store over there. And my first class, really quickly, I didn't know it was a nude painting class, and freaked me out 4 weeks. Going in at the first class, I was saying, "Wow, where's the teacher, man?" And I see this lady taking all her clothes off. It's like, oh wow! So I ended up painting from her neck up, and then the following 4-week classes, I sat in the back, so I just dropped, a back shot. And after the class, I said, painting's not for me. Put away my brushes for about 20 years, bro. I didn't paint, Wow. I just only did 2 paintings in those classes. Saw the movie The Bucket List. You saw that movie, bro?
Yep. I started my list already.
I said, bro, you're getting old too, bro. You better paint. And so I dusted off the old paints, and that's my first painting. That's acrylic, by the way. Yeah. So I'm at a point now, a little bit extra money. I took a painting class at Windward Community College. Norman Graffam was my instructor. Good guy. He was a student of Snowden Hodges. All you artsy guys out there, you know these guys. I mean, their stuff is, they've been painting 30, 40 years. Yeah. Can learn a lot. When I first started, Herb Kani was kind enough to tutor me as far as when I finished a painting, I emailed it to them. Me and my wife, Drina, had the privilege of going to his house and sitting with him for about 3 hours. Yeah. And showing some of the work I was doing for Kamehameha schools, some drawings, because I wasn't painting yet. And it was really, really neat. We, at the time, Kehawa Abad was head of Kamehameha Publishing, Dr. Kehawa Abad. Her dad, Uncle Fred Cachola, was my dad's classmate at Kamehameha, class of 53. So the family ties were close, and she was running the publishing site, and they were gonna redo or put artwork in Samuel Kamakau's Ruling Chiefs. So they came out with 24 posters or depictions they needed. It was really tough. Who gets in, who gets out. We stayed away from all the stuff that Herb Kani originally did, and we concentrated on earlier stuff, but we got to go to Kona to talk to the board, Kamehameha schools, on a retreat, and all our tripping was in Kona. I called my dad, and I said, "Dad, Kamehameha school sending us to Kona, me and Drina. Think you can call your friend Herb Kani? Can I meet him?" He tells me, "My father." "Oh, bro, he don't like any Neely guys coming to his house, bothering him. He don't give interviews anymore. He's very reclusive. But since you're my son, I'll call him." I said, "Thanks, Dad." But, no guarantees, bro. He's busy. He said, "I'll call you in a couple of days." Calls me in a couple of days. He says, "You're in luck. He's agreed to see you." Yeah. I said, "Oh, thanks, Dad." He said, but, Guya, shut your mouth. Don't say anything when you go over there. Don't take any pictures unless she asks." I said, "Yeah, I'll be on my best behavior." So we went, and it was incredible. And I remember talking to him about the Project Ruling Chiefs. We only had 20 depictions, and so I asked him, "From what you see, we stayed away from the stuff you did. What other stories from Liloa to Kamehameha III would you include in this new revision?" And he said something very profound. He said, "All of them, Brook. They're all important." And I was like, "Oh, not exactly the answer I wanted to hear," but we came out eventually with depictions. We went to go see Uncle Bill Maioho up in Mauna Ala to get his mana'o. And all of these things, when we deal with the ancestors, to get their love and respect. A lot of the projects that I've been doing over the years, before I start, I'll go. If I know where they're buried or where they lay, I'll go and just let them know. I'll be honoring them in an art depiction, and it's all with love. And awesome. So it's pretty neat.
That was one of the questions that I wanted to. I'm just personally interested in is the process, because especially painting people who you probably have never seen before. Yeah. And coming up with an image just from what you read or even what the kupuna tell you to your na'au. What is the process that you go through to come up with something, like a final product like this? And I know you're very detailed in your work too.
Yeah, sometimes if like for example, we have a chief like Alapai. Yeah, I read about Alapai. He was an interesting guy. I mean, when you see his name, you better behave. You know what I mean? You had uncles like that. You go to their house, you gotta behave. Yeah. Alapai was one of those uncles. If you had him, you know, you're gonna get him. So I went into it that respect. I know he was one of his hobbies was war, and he's always, and so I try to depict him as such. I remember when I did the portrait of him, and I didn't know this at the time. Yeah, this is my Alapai. I'll show you.
This whole binder is full of images. If we could only give and show every single one.
Anyway. See, so you know, look, it's not like what do you want? Are you bothering me? Yeah, hurry up. You know, I'm busy. So, I sold the original at Mary Monarch to a descendant. They're all Ka'ua was there. His daddy was Ka'ua Nui Mahi. His mama was Kalani Kalele Iwi, the very sacred matriarch. But they're all Kohala guys, yeah. And so, I had a reproduction in my booth at Mary Monarch. I mean, at Made in Hawaii later on that summer. When did I do this? 2011. And so it was Saturday night, about 7:30. I got this Kanaka in my booth. He's looking at the painting, but I didn't have the name on it. I said, "Oh, excuse me, bro. You're looking at Alapai." He says, "I know." So I just paused and I said, "Oh man, how does he know? Because I don't have the name on it." And he said, "I get him in my house already, bro. You sell your stuff in Namea down at Wardway House." "Oh yeah." He said, "Yeah, I get him in my house already, bro." He said, "You the artist?" I go, "Yeah." "I asked you one question, bro." I said, "Shoot?" He said, "My great-grandfather looked just like that. My last name is Alapai. That's our tutu man, bro. How you know that's how we look like?" And I just looked at him. He gave me a hug. I gave him a hug. I said, "You know what, bro? I was looking at you." I said, "Bro, you look like my painting, bro. You get the high cheekbones. You get the jaw." I said, "Are you no more the goatee?" I said, yeah. He says, "Yeah, bro. That's my tutu man. How you know?" I said, "I don't take any credit for that." I said, "That's how he came out. That's how he came out."
So do you see them? Do
Yeah.
you have these images in
Pretty
your head?
much, yeah. Like some of my paintings too are, sometimes they're like Frankenstein. I like your eyes, but I like his nose, but I like his lips and jawline. So I'll do like a montage and stuff. But you know, by golly, a lot of times, the ancestors will come in my booth and they'll tell me that, "Oh, bro, you nailed it. That's all." You know, when I did my painting of Heva, chopping down the images, Oahu 8, Pupuka. I mean, I can go on it. And like I said, I don't take any credit for that. I just get a lot of help in promptings or dreams or different, whatever you want to call it. And it's really been really neat.
How do you know that it's finished?
That's a good question, you know. Sometimes as an artist, especially as a painter, you got to know when is when. Because that little extra, bro, you just ruined it, yeah? You're like, oh, you should have known when to walk away, but I cannot really put my finger on it. And then a guy stuff, "Oh, how do you know what cacao to put on or uhi, you know, when you want to put?" I said, "I don't know, the painting kind of tells me that too. Some guys will have it, you know, "Oh, why do you put this design?" I said, "It just kind of comes out like that."
And so it's like a feeling that you
Yeah.
get.
Like
that
the painting
feeling.
we did of Kameme and his uncles over there. You know, again, you know, I'm a big Kohala, Kona guy because a lot of my ohana, that's where they...
Parker, yeah? Parker Ranch.
Yeah, I'm on the Haole side, yeah. But on the Hawaiian side, that's where they used to run around. And so I concentrated a lot of my paintings. After I finished Kamiyamoku and Kamanava, I did the rest of the Ahaula chiefs. Now the Ahaula chiefs, or Ahaula is Hawaiian for Aha is cord, Ula is the color red. Or Kauna for that is the sacred blood ties that keeps these group of men together. Now in the painting depicted, you see Kamehameha in the middle, and then to his left is Kikohopio, which was pretty much the father figure he never really had. Yeah. And then surrounding them are the rest of his close counselors. Kamehameha and Kamanaba, Keawe Heulu in the green and yellow cape. And then the little taller one is Kahumano's daddy, Ke'amoku. They were all experts in warfare, in Lua. And the rest of the men in the pictures are his top generals and his top kahunas, spiritual advisors. Awesome. But these men were the matrix that were able to accomplish something that no one they tried before. No one was able to do that. It's total unification of all the islands.
Yeah.
These were the guys. Kamehameha was very smart in that, just like any good CEO, you don't have to know everything. You surround yourself with experts. And so he did. And these men loved him and they were related to him. Again, the term aha'ula, the blood ties that keep these sacred circle of counselors together, connected to their ancestors. So, you know, Hawaiian, they have a lot of hidden meanings and a lot of words and stuff like that. And for those that have eyes to see and ears to hear, it's for them. But for others, they constantly like to throw that curveball to throw you off, because if you don't know, you don't need to know.
So we talked about the first one. I'm going to, before time runs out, I just want to make sure we touch upon all the paintings. What is the Va'a painting?
Yeah, that one I wanted to do on night scene. I remember as a little boy, my dad had painted something like that. So I was looking for a Christmas card for our family, and so I decided to do that. And we noticed with our painting, that's an original, by the way, it ends up where it's supposed to end up, as far as where it belongs, and so hasn't quite found a home yet, but it will. And this one, toward the back, decided, my dad passed in April of this year. I remember the feeling. I have 5 brothers in ER. My dad went fairly quickly, which is great because he didn't have to suffer yet. But I remember that feeling and stuff, and so I guess with that in mind, I wanted to depict Kamehameha's death scene. And so all the artifacts you see in that painting actually belong to him. They're in the Bishop Museum today. And then you have Liholiho, his 22-year-old son, toward the back, and along the young Kauikeaoli there. And then his top kahunas, they did all they could to try and save him, but they weren't able to save him. And as if you know the story, they constantly moved him, and they tried to feed him. They put him in the halimoa to feed, then different houses. There's different accounts. Kamakau has one, you know, different, Dishe has another one, and different, but this is just one scene of that. And just to depict that sadness.
How long does it take you to paint a painting?
Sometimes when I'm in the zone, it goes really quickly. That was actually the Kamehameha and his aha'ula. I didn't do oil painting it because I didn't know how. All those early paintings, Kamehameha Mokun Kamanava, were all acrylic. And I remember going to our first made in Hawaii. I saw this old Haole man setting up his booth. His name was Ed Kayton. And Ed Kayton with a K, K-A-Y-T-O-N. Go Google his art. Incredible. I was a big fan of Ed Kayton over 20 years ago. So we were early. The show wasn't open yet. It's just the vendors. I walked in the booth. I said, "Excuse me, sir, are you Ed Kayton?" He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "So you don't know me, but I know you." I shake your hand. I love your art. Awesome, bro. Thank you. He said, "What's your name?" I said, Brook. He said, "What are you doing here?" I said, I said, "I got a booth here." He said, "You do?" He said, "So what do you do?" I said, "I paint." He said, "You're a painter?" I go, "Yeah, try." He said, "Where's your stuff?" I said, "Oh, in the corner over there, you know, right around the." I said, "I'll come by later on." Only had like, maybe 6, 7 paintings because I just started. Looks at my painting. He goes, "Wow, how long you been painting?" I said, "Oh, 1 year." Looks at me. He goes, "What?" I go, "Been drawing my whole life, only painting 1 year." He said, "What is this, oil?" I said, "No, I don't know how." It's acrylic. I go, "Yeah." He go, "What kind?" I said, "The one on sale." What do you mean? I don't know what kind of paint, but I just buy the one on sale. So long story short, his sister came over, Verna Keoho. She helps Ed, and offered to help us. So Ed told me, "Bro, all you gotta do is get your okole up to Kona, come in my class for one week." And I was the only Hawaiian guy in there. Had on horse ranch owner from Canada, one lady from Europe, all these rich Haole ladies learning how to oil paint from Ed Kayton. So you get me in a corner. But I learned how to do oil painting from Ed.
Awesome.
And that was my first one I did when I came back. It took me 6 weeks. And I always keep on smudging the paint because acrylic dry like that pretty fast. But I struggled, but it came out all right, I think. I mean, so I just started doing like oil paint after that. I took some classes from Patrick Ching and Wamanalo. There's another type of paint. When I ran out of money for Patrick's class, I became a shop boy, throw his rubbish and run. But he taught me how to do sky and mountains because I'm a big fan of Patrick Ching too. His stuff is just incredible. I got a lot of favorite artists, you know. I mean, growing up, my dad, Herb Connie, all these guys, Norman Rockwell, Frank Frazetta, all these guys. I mean, I got all their books in my house. They're my other teachers, man. Yeah, so I'm always going to be a student because I'll only be painting for a short time. I can always learn from somebody that's been painting 30, 40 years. But what those guys ask me, those guys that have been painting longer, where do you get your faces? Where do you get your I said, all inside. Comes from inside. Yeah. Just try to portray it and put it on canvas to try and tell the story. Yeah, try to tell the story.
And so every painting has its own story. But what is your main message when you do all this work, and for you to have a full-time job, leave a full-time job to do this full-time? What was the whole point of this for you?
I think for me, in how I was raised and how I was taught by my mom and dad and my grandparents, is family is really important. They really are, and family ties are eternal. And my hope is, because I get guys come in my booth sometime, oh, we stand on Hawaiian sovereignty and stuff like that, and you know, that's a whole nother 6-hour show, bro. Yeah. But my hope is to teach our OPOs coming up to learn about your ancestors. I don't judge them. I concentrate on the positive, learn from the negative, but for you to draw your own conclusion and to go learn about them, the great deeds they've done, you know. And it doesn't matter. I'm part Hawaiian, but I also have Portuguese, I have Chinese, I have French, I have Scottish. It's all important to me, yeah. But I live here. I feel them close by. The wonderful thing about Hawaii, and I feel this, you know, you're well traveled. You go to places, they might hate America, and you know, but you telling you from Hawaii, what usually happens?
Oh, eyes light up.
Yeah.
They like touch you.
Exactly.
The superstar.
Exactly. Why is that? What do you think? I have my own.
I think for me, because at least for me, majority of the places I go, well, the place I go is Japan. Out of all the times I've traveled, Japan has been the most consistent. And what I've seen from that was that they have a connection to our culture, whatever it may be. For me, I'm in the hula realm, so they have a big connection to through hula as a means of, I like to think it's using our practice as a hula practice for them to turn around and connect back to their culture. And that's kind of my biggest hopes. But to see their eyes light up when they see how special, or they can especially participate in something Hawaiian, for me, it just makes me proud, because I know that Hawaiian, we have something special that the world doesn't have, just as much as another country has something that we don't have. But I think for us, and for me, it makes me proud. So it just makes me want to go and share some more and build a connection with other people.
That's perfectly correct too. I remember, but I spent time as a Mormon missionary in Spencer, Iowa. A bunch of corn farmers out there, and they hate Indians. You know, some of them do. Some of them, you know, it's just how it goes. I look Indian, right? But when I tell them I'm from Hawaii, they light up, and they might have never even been here. But I truly believe, this is my thing. Yeah, we have beautiful beaches, beautiful mountains, but the beauty of our place is the aloha that permeates here. You know, our ancestors, they're not here physically, but they never left spiritually. They're all around. That's what they feel when they come. That's what they fall in love with. That love, that aloha, you know. And it's not so much blood quantum, bro, because I get some Kanakas that I want to claim them, bro.
I don't even take that into a problem anymore. Yeah.
Stupid is stupid, right? Yeah, and that's colorblind, right? You don't have to be, you know, it's all racist, right? But it's how you portray it. Hopefully I can do my small part when I paint our kupuna, to paint them accordingly and just to help their name and memory stay alive. It's my due diligence to be an accomplished painter. So I'll continue to take classes when I have extra money to get better. Because in my mind's eye, I'm not where I want to be yet.
Yeah.
I still got a lot to learn as far as my colors and different shadows and the overall building of a painting. You know, I'm still very rookie, you know, and people look at say, I said, no, you're asking me, I'm telling you, that's how I feel. It's never going to be, you know, some guys say, oh, bro, you're going to be famous and mass. I go, I don't care about all of that stuff. I really just want to take care of my family and continue to do what I love to do. And hopefully that aloha and that love comes through the paintings, and I think sometimes it does.
I think it does. I think it's like the bait. Like your paintings represent the chum, all that, the palu that you throw in the water to attract people.
I never heard that. That's good, bro.
And then you come in with your mo'olelo, and that's what really connects, you know, fulfills the connection for people. On that note, where do you see your work going?
Well,
or
we
have gone already?
You know, through Vicky, Auntie Vicky, she took us to, one of our goals this year was to go to the mainland for the first time. So through the Pa'i Foundation and Auntie Vicky Takamini Holt, we were invited, me and Drina, we went up to Washington, and was awesome. We went to the 3 days of Aloha and we shared our art up there. And it was funny because you see the Kanakas that have been there for 20, 30 years. They're walking past the bodega. You don't see stuff like this up there because it's different. Yeah, it's more historical stuff. And that was really neat. To get it all over worldwide, that'd be great. And like again, it's not about me. It's about them and their stories. Yeah, because it's I think these guys are really special.
Yeah,
I really and women of course too. Of course.
Where can people find your work?
You can go on my website www.hawaiianatart.com. ATART. You spell the whole thing out. We have at of course Namea. We have some at Iolani Palace, Bishop Museum, all those different venues. But pretty much we. Oh yeah, Paradise Park too. That's right. We have
you have a lot of originals out over there. I just actually went to go visit that place too.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you. Thank you. It's my my better half.
Awesome.
That's right.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to share before the time wrap up? I want to make sure we can catch as much. Oh, I do actually. One thing I wanted to point out, if you can catch the small paintings, I remember Queen Liliuokalani. I remember Uncle Helimano sharing about the ahu that she's wearing. And I wanted to touch upon the detail that you spend and the kauna in your work.
Yeah.
So I know this isn't her ahu. The ahu is the coat that she wears, the feather coat. For you to be so detailed to say that was, I believe it was her mother's ahu. How do you get all these different, like how do you even know what that looks like? Or what was the point of putting the mother's ahu on her? Instead of having her own.
To me, when I try to do depictions like that, of course you say, and I have people coming up and say, "Oh, there's not a photograph of her wearing that." And people say, and I said, "Yeah, you're correct," but there's not one of her not wearing it. I said maybe she was missing her mom or grandma that day, and she wanted to feel close, so she put it on in the confines and privacy of her own abode. I said, I'm gonna paint them like that because I'm the painter. I can paint them like that, but to make it more personal to them. Yeah, like I said, I was kind of Hawaiian history geek growing up. I studied about them, and if we have any pictures and stuff, I'm gonna get them and I'm gonna tie it to them, and that's how I make it even more pono, more correct. So.
Awesome. Well, we're getting down 54 seconds, so I gotta finish this up. But first of all, I just want to thank Hawaii Culture and Retail Association for sponsoring this show. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have this platform for our artists to come on and really share their messages with you all in the comfort of your home. So mahalo HCRA. To check a little bit more about them, go to www.hcra.info, as well as islandconnection.com to see the awesome work that comes out from our local artists. If you have any questions, feel free to check out our Facebook page at Aloha Authentic. You can leave any comments there or email me at kamaka@islandconnection.com. If you have any ideas, recommendations of artists or kupuna you would want to see on the show. The show is also an archival project. So everything that's on here is recorded for us to see and watch for years to come, for your keiki and their keiki and so on. So please send us your messages, send us your comments, and other than that, aloha, ahui ho.
See the spirit of aloha through the arts with aloha.